Welcome back to PCTV Reports here in the Grey Goose Lounge with Kathy Yan, the director of Dead Pigs. Tell me a little bit about, you just had your premiere recently. How was it for you?
It was great. I mean, it's completely nerve-wracking, completely nerve-wracking. And then you're sort of like, you sort of sit outside of your own body, I think, during the actual screening. But then afterwards, it's just so nice. And, the response was really good. And I had a lot of cast and crew and some friends and family. So, yeah, it was really nice.
So give us a little synopsis for people who don't know and tell us, why did you think that this story was so important to tell?
Sure. So Dead Pigs it was inspired by this true event in 2013 where 16,000 dead pigs were found floating to Shanghai. I personally was born in China, like close to Shanghai, and was raised in the US, but I would spend a lot of time back and forth. I was a reporter before I got into film, and so it's sort of like in so many ways, it became a natural sort of starting point or jumping point for a film, I thought. And I just like the idea or the thought or the visual like of thousands of these dead, rotting pigs floating down the river seemed to make a nice film. And then I was just, and I think thematically, it felt right to me. Like it felt like it was a metaphor for a lot of, the repercussions of modernization and rapid change in China, but also, elsewhere too.
So what advice do you have for aspiring filmmakers?
I think that your first feature or your first film needs to come from a place that is so personal. Not needs. I'm sure this is going to be defied consistently. But for me, anyway, I feel like it should come from a place that is so personal and you have to tell it. And it's not this like top-down thing where you're trying to game the system and you're like, well, this year there was a lot of like films about pigs, so maybe I'll make one about, lamb, and that's really gonna be popular next year. Like, I think that just be true to yourself and figure out the film that you have to tell rather than the film that you should tell or the story that you should tell. I think that's really important, and I really think that if it's that story, it comes out of you. Like, it comes a little more naturally. I've always said, like, I just vomited up this story. But really, it feels this sort of, like, organic way. And if it doesn't happen the first time, try again, because it's going to happen.
I love it. So tell me about it. How did you feel when you found out, oh my gosh, I got into Sundance?
I think I got a text message before I got the official email. But anyway, I was so excited. It was like I'd been dreaming of going to Sundance for a very long time, and it felt like a relief, honestly. It kind of felt like a relief to feel like all these people that I roped in to do this crazy thing, would be proud of it. Yeah.
So after your premiere, I mean, you've seen the movie, you've seen the cut, but how did you feel like the response was?
I think it was good. I mean, I think that's what, people have been saying about it. People laughed. I think people cried, which is what I wanted. And I think what was really nice to see was that despite it being a foreign language film, we actually have about 30% of the film is in English. We had like very diverse like casting crew working on it as well, and I'm based in New York, and so premiering at a place like Sundance, where frankly there aren't too many Chinese people here, but it was really like uplifting, and to see how many people really felt like they got it and understood the story, and actually these two, I think they were Chinese American like film students, came up to me afterwards, and they were really moved by the fact that like other people cared about this. Yeah. Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about what's coming up next for you.
I'm not, I've got a few other projects coming up. I've got a TV show that I'm really excited about, and then a few feature ideas, one that's probably even crazier than Dead Pigs. And I want to just keep working on stuff. I think I don't necessarily need to make another, film in China. I want to keep doing different things. But the things that I think what I'm always going to be attracted to are true stories, because I really find that fact is stranger than fiction, and I get a lot of inspiration from, real people and real stories, but also exploring, sort of trying to use film in a way to figure out for myself, like, better analyze or better just like understand people and why they connect to each other and the world that we live in right now. Like I'm very, very interested in like sort of seeing how we live now. And maybe that means a period piece, but that it has some sort of repercussions in terms of how we're living today.
So what are the plans for distribution for Dead Pigs?
Well, we have distribution in China. Our investors were Chinese, and we were lucky enough to also pass Chinese censorship, which is its own fun. Really, really, really fun. Really fun to do. But we did. So that means actually the very version that we show here could be shown in China. And then now we're looking for distribution here and hopefully, Europe and wherever else would take us. Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, go ahead and check out Dead Pigs. It's been a smash here at Sundance, and thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
This is Park City Television. We'll be right back.